The Gremlin. In a quaint, dusty thrift shop, a peculiar display case housed a small gremlin with wicked eyes and a sinister grin. This mischievous creature, no larger than a cat, thrived on chaos, yearning for freedom. It was adorned with vibrant, sharp scales and sharp little claws that glinted under the dim light. The shopkeeper, with a hint of fear in his voice, warned the curious customer, "Do not open the display. It brings mischief and harm." Ignoring the warning, the purchaser's curiosity got the better of them. As they fumbled with the latch, the gremlin reveled in anticipation. With a careless slip, the creature fell from its prison, skittering across the floor with unfettered glee. Once free, the gremlin unleashed its wickedness upon the unsuspecting town, orchestrating sinister pranks that spiraled into gruesome chaos. It delighted in sowing discord, turning mundane moments into nightmares, leaving a trail of terrified townsfolk and bizarre mischief in its wake. The creature became a haunting legend, as whispers of its devious antics echoed through the streets, a reminder of the dangers that lay within the confines of curiosity. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple, the gremlin darted through the town, a shadow among shadows. It relished the thrill of the chase, setting its sights first on the baker, known for his jovial laughter and fresh bread. In a flurry of twisted delight, the gremlin snuck into the bakery, tying the baker's shoelaces together with an invisible thread and sending him sprawling into a rack of glass dishes and silverware. The glass plates broke and cut him all over badly, while forks and knives stabbed the bake in multiple random locations. With no one there to help, he bled to death. The townsfolk were stricken in horror when they heard the news, unaware of what could have happened. With each passing hour, the gremlin's pranks grew darker. It slipped through the narrow gaps of homes, lurking behind doors, draping strings of sticky webbing across streets and pathways. To the unsuspecting passerby, it was merely an inconvenience. To the elderly woman who stumbled into the trap, it became her death at a nightmarish fall to bottom of the stairs. Whispers began to circulate about a curse plaguing the town, but few connected the dots back to the mischievous being now savoring its newfound freedom. The local constable, a stout man with a firm belief in order, began to investigate the peculiar happenings. He noticed strange marks left behind and captured shadows darting from corner to corner. Unfolding his hidden stash of old legends, he discovered tales of a gremlin that thrived on chaos and mischief, one that would only cease when it grew bored or when someone dared to. One fateful night, as a storm brewed overhead, the constable rallied a few brave townsfolk who were determined to restore peace. Armed with nets, candles, and a sprinkling of salt, the rumored bane of wicked creatures, they set a trap at the town fair, hoping to capture the mischievous gremlin and put an end to the chaos. As lightning illuminated the sky, the gremlin, drawn by the laughter and people having a good time, slinked into the fair. It reveled in the spectacle, loosening the bolts to the first ride it came across, causing mayhem among the gathered crowd. The ride, called the Roundabout, spun off balance because of the loose bolts and caused the 12 passengers to be thrown from the ride as it tipped over, falling to the ground, crushing 2 people, while those thrown from their seats were bruised, broken, and 1 dead. Astonished and shocked people ran to help who they could, Constable holding his head with both hands in surprise. Looking around at what could happen next, then, he spots the gremlin run into the House of Mirrors. Just as the townsfolk seemed overwhelmed, the constable pointed and bellowed a command. "Now!" The townsfolk ran into the House of Mirrors after him, and the trap was sprung. The nets tangled, and the gremlin squealed in surprise, entangled with no quick escape. But instead of showing fear, it let out a wicked cackle, reveling in the chaos around it. In that moment of confrontation, the constable remembered the tales of the gremlin's true weakness. Holding up a silver bell, an old relic said to possess the power to subdue such creatures with 3 steady rings. He rang it for the first time with urgency. The sound pierced the night air, resonating with a magical clarity. The gremlin shrieked, its malevolence wavering in the melodic chime, and as it clutched its ears, the outward spinning mischief began to lose its grip. Just as the chime faded away, he rang it a second time, And again the gremlin shrieked and snarled and snared at everyone with cold yet emotional eyes. Steadfast, the townsfolk kept surrounded the creature together, so he had no place to run as the bell was struck one last time, causing the creature to freeze in mid-motion as if paralyzed stiff as a board. In that moment, the same shop owner walked up quietly from the group of townsfolk with the same small empty display case, picked the gremlin up, sat him back in the case, and put the locking latch back on it. With relief, the townsfolk went back to their ordinary lives while trying to repair the damages the gremlin left in its wake. This time, the shopkeeper glued the gremlin's case shut on all sides, locked the case in a trunk, and buried it far away from town. A quick reminder that rules and warnings are in place for a reason. Think before you attempt to break them. You may be inviting more trouble than it's worth. Years later, a tree crew begins cutting trees and excavating the land where the trunk was buried. Will the gremlin break free? Are there more? While we wait to find out, please check out my music and other art.